Hi everyone, it's Netfq here again. Today I was going to talk to you about manufacturing and knowing what to manufacture and what can give you a profit and what can't. It's all to do with mining the raw materials and producing something to sell. And that whole journey starts with having blueprints. Now, there's a lot of blueprints you can buy from NPC characters. Um, they are obviously not researched at all. They're just blueprint originals. And the best place to get them um, would be at trade hubs. Well, I wouldn't say that because you can get NPC blueprints from many different locations, not just in trade hubs. Um, so yeah, let's start. I guess the most common one would be drones. Nice and easy to make. If we look at this one, a hobgoblin, you can see that you can pick up a blueprint original for $250,000, 260,000 is pretty cheap. If we have a look at the requirements for that, we can see that it requires 509 titanium, 7 pyrite, 4 oxygen, and noxamum 2. And if we went and we bought all just to come up with a price, so all these prices are basically based in the region that you're in or the station that you're in, and we're in Jita. So, so as you can see, to make this Hobgoblin Tech 1 version, we will need to spend 3,000 ISK. Now that's if we bought the materials ourselves, but to go out and mine this amount of raw materials would not take long at all. It would probably only take a couple minutes, and therefore we wouldn't have to spend the 3,000 ISK because we would have just mined it all ourselves. Now, if we took this and we simulated it, view an industry, we can see that estimate value for the ore is 3,000 as we saw before. But if we were going to sell it, as you can see, estimated total price 3,100. Now that's not always accurate. If we right clicked on that and we went to view market details, as you can see, it's a lot less than 3,100. As you can see, it's 2,800. So if we were going to spend 2,900 on the ore, we could only really sell it for 2,800. So we've basically lost 100 ISK. So would it be worth producing these hobgoblins? No. One, you'd lose money if you bought the ore, or if you mine the ore yourself, you'd make a better profit just selling the sorry, not the ore, the minerals directly to market. So currently at these prices, creating a hobgoblin one is not worth it, and you would actually lose money. Um, there are other things. Obviously, it does take a while to find things that are worth buying or worth producing. It does take quite a bit of work. I mean, people can get really anal about it and go and create spreadsheets that automatically get buy and sell prices for different materials, and then from a touch of a button they can work out exactly what's profitable on the day and what's not. Um, I'm not that um, crazy about finding the best things to manufacture. I just basically do this, find out what looks interesting, and seeing if it's worth manufacturing or not. I mean, one of the things I found was fighters. Fighters are quite popular at the moment, with all the citadels and engineering platforms going up. Um, and one of them is the Emeta fighter. It's a heavy fighter, and then we had a look at the requirements for that. Well, as you can see, they can be quite expensive. Sorry, expensive. As you can see, NPC price. You can always tell an NPC price from a player price, because NPCs, the duration of the selling is always a year, basically. As you can see, this is 360 days, and you know that for players, they can only put something on the market for 90 days, 3 months. So obviously, this is a player that's gone out to these different regions, bought the blueprint, and now he or she shipped it to Jita to try and sell for 600 million more than what they normally go for in other regions. So I definitely wouldn't buy that. That's just a complete rip-off when there's one that's 600 million less, only 8 jumps away, and is from a NPC player. But anyway, let's have a look at this one. So to produce these, as you can see, it does require quite a bit more material. You're looking at 500,000 titanium, over 100,000 pyrite, 48,000 Mexagolan, um, isogen as well, 11,000. So it does start to add up now. But if we went to buy all, we can see exactly how much it will cost us for the raw material. Again, you can go out and mine this yourself, mine the ore and reprocess it into the minerals. Um, Obviously, depending on the size of your fleet, it may take a bit longer to do. Um, but again, if you went out mining for, say, an hour, you'll definitely have over 1 million titanium, um, and all the rest of them. So as you can see, to produce one of these, if we bought the raw material, we would need to spend uh, 10 million ISK, which isn't bad, 10 million ISK. And if we had a look at the current price for these guys, let's have a look, view market details. As you can see, they are going for, say, 11 to 13 million ISK. Now, there is a profit, granted, but what you've got to work out is how much profit you're actually going to get. Because if we were going to produce this, let's simulate an inventory. Oh, sorry, in industry. Um, Depending on the station you are, as you see, I can't start it. It doesn't tell me the base price because I'm currently in Jita. Um, but the total cost of this job may be, say, 500,000, 200,000 ISK. So that's gone out of your profit already. Plus also the sales tax and broker tax to try and sell this on Jita. Well, that's probably going to be about 1 million. So if it's going to cost you 10 million to make and you're only going to sell it for 1 million, it's probably not worth it. So the other things as well is if we went to, let's just go to the Tech 2 version of this. So we just search for all of those drones. Why hasn't it found that? Am I spelling? I'm not spelling it wrong. Okay, I don't know what went wrong then. Did I? I didn't think I spelled it wrong. Anyway, we look at the Tech 2 version. Now, to get the Tech 2 version, obviously you have to invent from the Tech 1 blueprint, and there's a whole bunch of other requirements relating to that. How you would do it is you would take the Tech 1 blueprint, you would first make a copy of it, and with that copy you would produce a blueprint copy, and with that blueprint copy you could then research it. Sorry, invent from it. And if you invented from it and you were successful, again the base probability of success is only 34%. You can get decryptors that will increase that value. Um, but if you were successful, you would then um, make or produce a Tech 2 version of that blueprint, which you can then use to manufacture the Tech 2 um, item that you were researching. And obviously, with all Tech 2 items, there's um, a lot more complicated components that you'll need to make. Now, you can make these individually if you wanted by getting the blueprint originals for each of these items and getting the raw material to manufacture them. That's obviously a more advanced industry, but just for comparison's sake, let's say we just went out and we bought all these raw components. So we went and we bought all and work out exactly what it is. Now, with most Tech 2 items, what you normally need is a Tech 1 variant of it. This is why this is in here. So for the Tech 2 version of this heavy drone fighter, we're looking at 25.3 million ISK to buy all the raw material. Well, no, sorry, all the components to build this fighter. So 25.3 million. And if we had a look and we saw how much they were going for, as you can see, they are currently going for 28 million. So you could say that if you went and you purchased the raw material, sorry, the components for this fighter, and you manufactured it, um, not only would you have to go and you'd have to research your blueprint original, be lucky to get a blueprint Tech 2 um, version output. You'd then have to you'd have to spend the money to make this, and we're only talking about 3 million for all that time. Because as you said, the chance of inventing a Tech 2 version was only 34.5% or something like that, which is, yeah, it's, you're not going to hit it every time. So you'll be wasting time trying to research it, um, you know, and again, is it going to, are you going to be lucky and hit, be in that 30% to be able to produce a Tech 2 version of the blueprint? There are encryptors, or decryptors I should say, that are out there that increase your chances, but they're a couple million each. So if you're only going to make a couple million in profit, it's pointless buying an encryptor. Um, but in saying that, again, if you bought encryptors, you're not just going to be producing one item. I'm not sure if I can show you this or not. I'm not sure if I'm actually inventing anything at the moment. Let's just have a look. Okay, yes I am. Okay, so I've got some blueprint copies here that I can just quickly show you. Um, so if we were going to invent this, um, so to invent it, you're going to need some data cores, and these data cores, can be quite expensive. So we would need 3 electronic engineering data cores, and as you can see, that's 400,000 ISK for 3 of them. Again, the next thing you're going to need is a gravitational physics data core, and that's just under 300,000 ISK for 3 of them. And then there are the decryptors I told you about. So if we said, if we weren't going to use any encryptor, the depending on the skills that you've got, as you can see, I've got some level 3 skills and level 4 skills for the different skills required. Um, they can increase your chances. Now, as you saw, the base chance was 34.5%, but with my skills, or I should say the base skill is 34%, not 34.5%. But with my skills, I'm able to get that up to 44.2%. And as you can see, you get 1 blueprint, but you get 10 runs, which means that for spending, let's have a look, 680,000 ISK, I get a Tech 2, well, I get a 40% chance of getting a Tech 2 blueprint with 10 runs, so I can make 10 of these drones. And if you use an encryptor, let's say an optimized attainment decryptor, which gives you a probability multiplier of 90%, a max run modifier of +2, and yeah, the ME and MT, sorry, ME and TE modifiers as well. But one thing to note is, as you can see, the time efficiency modifier is -2, not plus, so I'm losing some time if I'm using this decryptor. But the great thing about it is if I select that, as you can see, my success probability rate goes up to 93.1%. So I'm pretty much guaranteed that if I made this, I would get a Tech 2 version. Again, it's going to take 7 hours and 13 minutes to produce this blueprint, which is quite a long time, and it's going to cost me 2,115 ISK. And as you can see, the runs went from 10 to 12. That's because, as you can see, the max run modifier is +2. So without an encryptor, you get 10 runs. With an encryptor, well, with this encryptor, you get +2. So that's 10 runs in total. As you can see, there are other encryptors. This gives you a probability multiplier, not the optimized one, just the attainment decryptor gives you a probability optimizer of +80%, but it gives you more runs per copy. This gives you a +4, which is a lot better. But as you can see, the material efficiency is -1, but the time efficiency is +4. So there's many different blueprints, and it just depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for something that gives you more, produces a blueprint that takes less time to manufacture, then you've got this process decryptor. Again, here's another one, symmetry decryptor. This is a +8 to the time efficiency, But yeah, I normally go for the optimized attainment decryptor because I don't want to waste time trying to research blueprints to come up with a, well, I should say, invent blueprints to come up with a Tech 2 version. Um, if it's going to take 7 hours, and if you've got a base skill of 30%, so you got to wait 7 hours to see if you've produced a Tech 2 blueprint with a 30% chance rate. It's going to be really disappointing if it comes back saying it failed. Yeah, so you want to try and optimize your time, and to do that, you need to get a decryptor that's going to give you the best chance of producing the blueprint, especially on long runs like 7 hours. Yeah, that's just crazy. Um, but again, these aren't cheap. If we went and we had a look at how much these optimized attainment decryptors cost, they cost 3 million, nearly 4 million ISK. But for that 4 million ISK, you do have the opportunity to produce a Tech 2 blueprint of 12 runs. So that's how we do that. But again, you've got to weigh that up with how much it's actually going to cost to produce. So as we saw here, to produce all these, it is going to be quite a bit. You're going to have to do all this. Yeah. And again, what do we say? 25.3. 25.3 for the raw materials to make it. Well, no, I'm not going to say raw materials, sorry, the components to make it. And you're only going to be able to sell it for 28. So that's only 3 million profit. Would it be worth it? It's up to you. You do the calculations. Yeah, you're going to have to spend about 3 million to research the Tech 2 blueprint. Sorry, to invent the Tech 2 blueprint. But again, you get 12 runs at it. So if you had a look at that, you could say 3 million profit, but then you can sell 10 drones. Yeah, what's that? Yeah, that's what, 36. 36 million? Is it worth it? You tell me. Another thing to look at, let's have a look. One of the other things I found which can be quite profitable is mobile warp disruptors, especially the large. Wow, what is going on today? Why is that? Oh, is it mobile large? Sorry. Yeah, mobile large warp disruptors. As you can see, I am selling some. Why not tell you? So for one of these, you're going to need these components. Yeah, the raw material. You're going to have a warp scram. We're going to have 9 warp scrambler Tech 1s and some electronic parts. So we had a look at this, and we found out how much it would cost to buy all of these things. We're looking at 11.4 million ISK, and that's just to buy the components. But again, you can manufacture all of these. It doesn't take you long at all. Sorry, not manufacture. You can go and mine all of these. It doesn't take you long at all. I mean, look, it's only 250,000 titanium, 90,000 pyrite. I mean, these are small numbers. It wouldn't take you long to go out and mine all of these. even the warp scramblers, yeah, Tech 1 versions. I mean, sure, it's saying, look, you can buy them for, 700,000 ISK, buy 9 of them. But you can go out and you can, just go out and buy the blueprint copy, sorry, blueprint original. And again, you know, to produce 9 of them, look how much raw materials well, the minerals that it needs. These are really, really small numbers. So again, go out and mine. It's not going to take you long to get these materials to produce 9 warp scramblers. And then, yeah, then that's done. You don't have to spend this money. Yeah, you've already produced them yourself. Same with all of these raw materials. Why buy them? Go out and mine them. But let's say you were lazy and you just wanted to buy them straight from the market. Again, it's going to cost you, 11.5 million. And looking at the current prices for them, yeah, you're looking at 13 million, right? Between 13 and 14 million. So you're spending 11.5 and you're only getting 13 million back. You've got to say to yourself, is it worth it or not? Because I mine all the material myself, I don't normally buy it from the marketplace. I think it's worth it. Another thing to look at is the price history. Again, how many of these things get sold? As you can see, probably on a daily basis, over 100 of them get sold on a daily basis. And the price is pretty stable. As you can see, between 10 and 15, probably around the 13 million mark is where it's sitting at the moment. So yeah, for me that is worth it. May not be for you. It just depends on what you like doing. The other thing that you can go out and buy is, say, some ships. As you saw in the first video that I ever made on YouTube, it was basically hauling a bunch of catalyst destroyers to Jita to sell. Again, that's mining the raw materials, manufacturing them, and then selling them on the market. Let's say we've got some exhumers. Actually, no, let's go for a mining badge. So let's go for a procure a blueprint. There you go. Now this is where the real money starts to kick in. So for this item here, you're looking at 1.9 billion ISK to buy this blueprint. 2 billion ISK, which is quite expensive. Yeah, and these are the raw materials that are needed, the raw minerals that are needed to produce one procurer. So as you can see, for these raw materials, you're looking at 17.6 million ISK. But to sell a procurer, you're looking at 17.4. So 17.3, 17.4. Is it worth it? No, not if you bought these raw materials straight off the market. But again, these are quite, it wouldn't take you long at all to mine these materials. Again, these are all minerals that you can get in ISK. Yeah, just obviously different regions. But you don't need these all, yeah? You can just get some of them. And then you can just, whatever you're short, you can always just buy from the market. Yeah, I mean, let's have a look. Can I show you? I'm not sure how much current material that I've got. Let's just have a look. Okay, so let's just say, hold on, let's just go to somewhere. Yeah, so let's say you're going to produce capital construction parts. And as you can see, for 16 of them, I've got all the materials that I need apart from oxygen. I'm missing oxygen, a couple of items of oxygen. Yeah, but I couldn't be bothered to go out and mine the rest. So I'm just willing to pay for whatever I'm missing. One of the new features that CCP have released in one of their latest patches is the option to buy missing material. Normally all you had was the copy the material information or buy all. You didn't have the option to say, well look, I don't want to buy them all because I've already got them. I just want to buy whatever's missing. And CCP have now added it, as you can see, buy missing materials. And there we go. So these are the only materials that I am missing to produce 16 of these capital construction parts. Yeah, and that's going to cost me, you know, 2.5 million ISK just to buy the missing. Yeah, so if you went out and mined this all yourself, again, it's only, what's that? Only needed 5.5 million titanium. So again, it doesn't take you long at all to mine these materials. And whatever's left, let's say you're finished mining, you can't stand it anymore. You've spent a couple of hours mining, and that's enough for you. Whatever you've got is that's it. Yeah, you can always come back and then again, buy whatever's missing. And as you can see, for 16 of them, again, estimated sell price is 128 million ISK. Yeah. So there's always a way. Um, what's something else I can show you? I'm not sure. Let's have a look. Fuel blocks. Again, yeah. Let's say you've got some components, yeah, but a lot that you don't. But let's say for robotics, as you can see, you need 500 robotics parts, but I've only got 295 of them currently. But I can't be bothered, producing some more, so I'm willing to buy the remaining. So let's just have a look. So it's saying that if I went and we bought all of them, it would cost me 433 million ISK. But if we right click and we just want to say, right, I just want to buy whatever's missing. So let's go and see what it says. There you go. So if I went and purchased everything myself, it would cost me 433 million. But I've already got most of the components, well, some of the components, just various amounts of them. So if I just wanted to top up the components that I've got, just to cover the minimum that I would need, again, it's saying that I only need to spend 112 million. So I've already got the components, I just need to spend another 112 million, and then that would give me 20,000 nitrogen fuel blocks. And if I was going to sell them on the market, you're looking at what, 473 million. So would you say that would be worth it? I would, yeah. Spend a million, yeah, make 400. Yeah, that's 300 million profit. It's not bad. But again, things to keep in mind though. Yeah, one, the sales tax. You don't know how much the sales tax is going to be to sell this, especially 20,000 units of it, maybe a couple million. Again, the time it's going to take me 2 days and 9 hours for this job run to produce, you know, 500 job runs gives you 20,000 fuel blocks. It's going to take 2 days and 9 hours. And the cost to actually start this manufacturing job is 5.5 million as well. But again, these costs, you know, for me, doesn't really matter because as you can see, I'll be making around a 300 million ISK profit from this. So, yeah, take 5 million away from that. It's not really going to affect my decision to make these. Yeah. So, yeah, I guess that's all we've got time for. I've been waffling on now for about half an hour, which is long enough. I'm sure you guys are sick of me talking now. Um, but again, yeah, it just depends on what you want to do. If you want to produce battleships, then yeah, go out and see what blueprints that you can get for battleships, and see if it's actually worth you, manufacturing them. Again, I highly recommend that you go out and mine the materials yourself rather than buy them on the market. The margins for buying the raw materials to produce something are quite small. Um, it's very rare that you're going to find something that has a huge margin between buying the raw materials and selling the finished product. It's always far better to go out and mine the raw materials yourself. Um, so yeah, all you've got then is your time. So it just depends on how much you think your time is worth to go out and mine these materials rather than buying them on the auction house. Um, but yeah, I hope you found this interesting and informative. Um, but if you have any questions or you weren't sure about something, please leave a comment below, and yeah, and I'll try and answer them as best I can. So that's it for me. Signing off, and yeah, have a good one. Bye.